Good evening and a happy new year from the Match of the Day team. It's the top of the year, we start at the top of the table. Definite understatement to say 1993 was a good year for Manchester United. 100 goals, 100 points, and they go into 94 in pole position, the Premier League's runaway leaders. Third place Leeds United knew they needed to put a dent in the champions' 14-point advantage. Manager Had Wilkinson was confident. Blackburn Rovers resolved to do the same at Aston Villa, having catapulted themselves into second place with goals from Alan Shearer. But at the turn of the year, Villa and Dean Saunders were hoping they'd turn the corner with Wednesday's win at Norwich. A quiet start to 94 in Glasgow. The city split down the middle for the small matter of Celtic versus Rangers. Plenty of goals to show you tonight. Trevor is on a solo run as we bravely stride forward into the new year. We've also got the result of December's Goal of the Month competition. Well, there was a real championship feel to today's match at Old Trafford. Leeds, the top dogs of 92, Manchester United, the dream team of 93. It was a blockbuster of a year for United, and no club has ever arrived at New Year's Day with such a commanding lead in the title race. 14 points was the gap that Leeds and the rest were looking at this morning. Tony Gubber is the commentator.
It's another capacity Old Trafford crowd for one of the games of the season. Just under 45,000, and with attendances at 17 matches here, already almost touching 750,000, Manchester United are contemplating the feasibility of building another tier above the roof of one of the stands. It could provide 7,000 more seats, but at a cost of £15 million. The vision is breathtaking. So too is the vision on the field of Eric Cantona, just voted third in the European Footballer of the Year, and the player who manager Alex Ferguson has singled out on this New Year's Day as the reason why United are champions and runaway leaders. Well, Cantona facing his old club Leeds in a United team showing several changes from the one that put 5 past Oldham in midweek. Mark Hughes, Paul Ince and Lee Sharp all failed late fitness tests. Into midfield and back as captain comes Brian Robson, with Brian McClare asked to partner Cantona up front and Giggs playing wide on the left. It's a game that Leeds have to win, but they're handicapped by the absence of their 2 top goal scorers, Rod Wallace and Gary Speed, and have had to make late adjustments because of the unexpected changes in United's team. New signing David White from Manchester City is expected to support Brian Deane, with Chris Fairclough, the player, asked to pick up Cantona. Referee David Ellery is as excited about this match as everyone and has promised, where possible, to let the football flow. United begin 14 points clear, and it could be a mammoth 17 if they're victorious here. At least for a few hours, with Blackburn playing the 3 o'clock kickoff. Matches between these sides have been tight in recent seasons, several 0-0s and 1-1 draws. Kanchelskis, who's on a real run of form at the moment. Great ball down the middle for Giggs. Kelly tries to hold him back. David Ellery's awarded the corner. Giggs is having a quiet little word. It was shoulder to shoulder, but it wasn't unfair according to the referee. And Gary Kelly, the 19-year-old Republic of Ireland under-21 fullback, managed to claw back half a yard on Giggs. But it's a crowded penalty area for the first corner. And Kanchelskis serving early warning. This is him again. Robson tries to chick it over the top, but the linesman's put his flag up on this near side. Roy Keane, asked to provide goals from midfield, has already got 6 this season. A role that used to be done by Brian Robson. And Giggs closely marked too by Gary Kelly. Hasn't yet caught fire. Cantona's nice little touch. Bruce, Kanchelskis, and all the United players are finding themselves very tightly marked indeed. Leeds have come out with good discipline and with a clear intention of denying Manchester United any space at all. Robson finds it, but it's in midfield. Kanchelskis. Cantona. May well have been intended for Brian McClare, but Robson quick to take responsibility as the senior man and captain, trying to curl it inside the top corner. Fairclough winning it twice, and White, and United's throw. Steve Bruce showing the marks of war. This is how the injury was caused, and may have been contact with an elbow, but you can't really question any intent by Brian Deane there. Well, that's a blow for Manchester United. Steve Bruce off to the dressing room, but there's no immediate signs of a substitution. Giggs tries to feed Irwin, but Kelly's got good pace in his legs and covered him. As you'd expect from a 19-year-old, he's quick, Gary Kelly. Giggs pleasing the crowd, and then was clattered by Pemberton. The tackle was late, and this could be another booking. The ball had definitely gone when John Pemberton went in. So a second Leeds player is cautioned, following the earlier one for Gary McAllister. Out by David White. McAllister was still well forward. That's Pemberton's clearance. And this is Kanchelskis. Giggs is pushed, another free kick. And United will do well to wait before they take this, because Steve Bruce is on the touchline. And he's a player who can be dangerous in the penalty area. Maybe Giggs should have waited that extra few seconds. Shot finally by Dennis Irwin, but it wasn't difficult for Beanie to deal with. And I wonder if it wouldn't have been wiser to have waited those few extra seconds for Steve Bruce to have got into the Leeds penalty area. Keane. Just over 5 minutes to go to half-time. And David White had tracked back all the way with Parker. Leeds so conscious that they can't afford to lose this match at Old Trafford. They've got to get something out of it, and they've set about the task quite manfully in this first half. Here's Cantona, and right behind him, Fairclough. And the United player wins the corner. Gary Pallister, who's come up from the back to stand on the near post, looking for a flick on. Kanchelskis struck it very well. Mark Beanie will have been very happy that that shot was straight at him. Anywhere else and it would have required an excellent save to stop it. Kanchelskis waving players out of the way. And we might have hoped for more, but recent matches between these two sides have always been tight, and goals have been scarce. 1993 was a vintage year for Manchester United, winning the championship and amassing 102 points and scoring over 100 goals, but still waiting for their first in 1994, which incidentally, when it comes in this match or another, will take them onto the 50 mark. That's Robson forward. Keane had the shot. And United nearly getting the goal in the first few seconds of the second half, which would make them the first team in all 4 divisions to reach the target of 50 this season. Keane, not really at a comfortable angle, and maybe slipped as he hit it as well. This is Giggs. Running outside Kelly. But he stuck to him again and won the tackle. United with the throw, which Dennis Irwin will take. Cantona backing into Fairclough. Down by Keane. Kanchelskis just slipped, otherwise that was the best opening. Couldn't quite get the grip from the studs. But just when he needed the purchase, then Kanchelskis couldn't find it. Here's Keane. McClare tees it up for Robson. Well struck! Well, that's given the crowd something to warm their hands about. Brian McClare teeing up the chance for Brian Robson. And a push in the back, but David Ellery allowing play to continue. Cantona gets it down to Giggs. Skips away from Newsom, still Giggs. On his left foot, tries to curl it outside Beanie. And that maybe wasn't the better of the options. But that ball is absolutely glued to his left foot sometimes. Newsom went with him and forced him to turn. And he never really had a clear sight of goal. Robson dispossessed by Gary McAllister. Now Brian Deane. McAllister took it very well. Just Strachan sprinting through the middle to support him. And was fouled by Cantona. And Leeds get out of that probably as much as they could have hoped for, because there was little support. Now is this one that Gary McAllister will fancy striking on target. Dorigo's there as well, and it's Dorigo who knocks it up. Great header by Fairclough off the top of the bar, and that's the closest that we've come to a score with an hour of the match played. And it's the set pieces really where Leeds have looked at their most dangerous. Robson. Strachan with Irwin, who did very well. Irwin to the back post. Kanchelskis arrived. What a nice bit of football by the fullback, with the confidence to outrun Strachan. A little header forward, and then got to it, kept it in play, and it was just a foot too high for Cantona, and Kanchelskis' shot hit the Frenchman, which maybe was the explanation why it wasn't more on target. Parker. United have the ball. Hodge preventing Parker from taking it quickly. Kanchelskis did very well. Gets in a good cross. Giggs came off Kelly. It'll be a corner. Well, Leeds would be bitterly disappointed if they didn't get anything out of this match, having done so well. But they've got another corner at which they have to defend. Newsom had the flick on. United's throw. Cantona, shot bubbled, flag was up. McClare's header, but the flag went up straight away. At least one United player offside, and maybe two or three. Didn't connect with it properly, but there were 3 red shirts beyond the last defender. This is David White. Pemberton. And now Roy Keane. Just Cantona ahead of him. Here's Cantona. Giggs has started to run through the middle, but Kelly had tracked with him again. What a tussle it's been between those two. Absolutely fascinating. Wherever Giggs has gone, Kelly has followed him. And Leeds do, in fact, decide to make a change. A little over 5 minutes left. Giggs. Cantona! It hit Fairclough. It could have gone anywhere. He'd wrapped his foot around it and he kept it down. But it struck the man who's man-marked him all afternoon and spun behind for the corner. Officially, 60 seconds left of the 90. As Giggs takes the corner. Off Robson. Opportunities have been few and far between for the Frenchman this afternoon. The header down, and the first-time strike, which might have tested Beanie if it hadn't taken that deflection. And if there's going to be a winner, it'll have to come now in stoppage time. And there isn't too much of that. It's a goalless draw at Old Trafford in the top of the table clash. And have Leeds done the rest of football a favour? Well, we shall see as the season unfolds in the rest of 1994. An entertaining match to start the new year, but there'll be disappointment that United couldn't get the goals at home that would have won it. Manchester United 0, Leeds United 0. I mean, there are some games that even in the first 10 minutes have the look of 0-0, and somehow this one did.
I think so too. We didn't get enough of the strikes at goal, and when we did get strikes, we were a bit unfortunate. Eric Cantona has hit the defender with 10 minutes ago, and Andrew Casillas hit Eric Cantona with a shot, you know, that type of thing. But at the end of the day, I was very pleased with the performance. They showed a lot of great patience, great willingness to get the ball, and in the main, we've really had probably 95% of the game, really. And what we really needed was just a little break in the last third, and would have been very, very happy, I think.
Howard, you've had some nice things to say recently, so I've been reading at least anyway, about Alex Ferguson.
Well, you know, management's not easy. It's very, very difficult, no matter where you manage, whether it's in the Football League or the Premier League. And Alex's track record up in Scotland is, I think, second to none, particularly as he wasn't at one of the
two big clubs now.
Two big clubs. And he's come down here and he's taken on a mammoth task insofar as they had a monkey on the shoulder over the Championship. Looking at the club from the outside, you know, there's been lots of things done with the youth and so on and so forth. There's a difference between being a club manager, which a lot of us are expected to be in this country, and a team manager. You know, and I know a little bit about, because the last two clubs I've been at, I've been the club manager, and I know what's involved, and I know the expectations of a place like this. So he's coped with all that, and eventually he's given them the success they've a right to expect. But it doesn't come overnight.
Howard Wilkinson did his homework today, didn't he? Because Leeds coped well with Manchester United.
They did. I mean, in Fairclough in particular, sort of frustrated Cantona, didn't he? Dorigo stuck very close to Kanchelskis, Pemberton, you know, and McClare, wherever you look. But for me, the most absorbing little tussle was between the two youngsters. That was Ryan Giggs and Gary Kelly, of course. I mean, we know all about Giggs. We've spoken so many times about him. But, I mean, Kelly playing at right back for Leeds, I mean, really his speed here. Not many people, all right, got his arm in, but not many people would have got back, certainly with Giggs. I mean, he's caught my eye for his attacking play, because he used to be an attacking midfielder, but today was a big test for him defensively, and I thought, you know, Giggs, who was over on his favoured left side, and I thought, you know, he was probing and testing him out all afternoon, but Kelly was always there, timed his tackles superbly, as we saw on that particular occasion, and looks as if they've solved a right-back problem that Leeds have had, what, since Mel Sterling got injured, didn't he, late on in their sort of championship year. But he does love to go forward. Today, this was one of the few attacking runs, which he does so often at Ellen Road, but there, I think Ryan Giggs saying, well, if you won't let me do that at one end, I'll make sure you won't at the other. But that was a great tussle, although in the end there were a few attacking chances, weren't there, for both sides. And I think United have settled they're going to be games at Old Trafford, you know, in the remainder of the season where they are going to have to be sort of patient and gradually wear down sides.
They're drawing a few games, but there's no real sign of any cracks.
No, I mean, what all the other clubs want are 2 or 3 defeats, isn't it? But they're picking up points, and they had 3 key players out, didn't they, today?
Trevor, thank you very much. Well, last season's runners-up Aston Villa have found they're going tough this time round. Blackburn finished 4th last term. They currently stand 2nd. The aim, of course, to catch Manchester United. John Motson was at Villa Park to see whether it would be Villa or Rovers that would start the year on a high note.
Since Alan Shearer returned to Blackburn's starting lineup at the end of September, his record is 17 goals in 14 Premiership games. Indeed, the opposing manager today, Ron Atkinson, says if Shearer had been fully fit for the last 12 months, England would have qualified for the World Cup. Villa's own centre-forward, Dean Saunders of Wales, also experienced World Cup disappointment, but he was back to his best at Norwich on Wednesday when his jet-propelled winner was his first Premiership goal in open play since September the 25th, the day that Shearer's sequence started. Well, there's a surprise in the Villa lineup with Sean Teale being left out and Earl Barrett dropping back alongside Paul McGrath. That enables 22-year-old Dave Farrell to come in wide on the left for only his 2nd starting appearance for Villa. Daly and Atkinson is still getting over a virus. Blackburn keep the side that beat Everton on Wednesday, with Kevin Gallagher partnering Shearer in the absence of the injured Mike Newell and Jason Wilcox operating on the left. Rovers, by the way, are hoping for a January return for Paul Warhurst, who broke his leg so soon after coming from Sheffield Wednesday. The new Whitton Lane stand fully operational for the first time today. The Villa Park capacity now 46,000, but it will come down again when the Holt End Terrace is seated. And the referee today, Roger Dilks of Mossley. So Blackburn, a team who've won 5 times away in the Premiership, start the match against Aston Villa, who've lost 4 times here at home. They're both coming into this match off a midweek victory. There's Kevin Richardson, and then Sherwood, the opposing captain, Earl Barrett with the interception. Now Richardson wide to Saunders. He's been encouraged by Ron Atkinson to get down these wide positions. She did very well at Norwich. Shearer, meantime, is in the centre with space around him. Staunton's there now. This is Ripley. Staunton to Farrell. Nobody knows quite what to expect from this lad. Gallagher. It was Blackburn Rovers who effectively ended Aston Villa's championship hopes last season with a 3-0 win at Ewood Park late on. Here's Shearer. Well, out, surely. Although Gallagher wasn't going to hang around, and nor should he have done. There was a moment when a lot of people thought the ball was out on the far side, and Shearer played on. Which he had every right to do, I would think. Gallagher at the near post, side netting. Villa knew they faced 3 hard games over this holiday period. Norwich away, Blackburn here today, and Leeds on Monday. That ball from Houghton was meant for Saunders. Here's Batty for Blackburn. Oh, it's a bit short for Berg, and Farrell got a foot in. Here's Richardson. Townsend made a good run. It's come back to the Villa captain. Square is Cox. In by Houghton. Andy Townsend has a habit of popping up in those positions, timing the run from midfield. Didn't collect, and it went to Staunton, and now to Farrell, up against Henning Berg. Villa have 3 players waiting in the middle, but Berg read the way Farrell wanted to go, and Sherwood enables Ripley to launch a counter-attack. Shearer and Gallagher waiting. Shearer! That was the best opening so far. And it happened all too quickly for Aston Villa, who lost the ball, and then Ripley broke and knew exactly where Shearer would be, and that wasn't far away. Shearer really is a class act anywhere inside the penalty area, sometimes outside as well for that matter. But he knows exactly when to time his run and where to go. Sherwood finds Wilcox again. Oh, Shearer! Well, I think he was pretty surprised to see that come all the way, because both McGrath and Barrett swung at it and missed. It's the happiest moment for the two central defenders. Watch this as the cross comes in. One misses it, they both miss it, and it's really full marks to Staunton for covering on Shearer. Well, it's a big field, but it's like playing in a matchbox at the moment, because there just isn't any space for either side to develop their attacks. Graham Lasso to take a free kick, which should open things up a little bit for Blackburn. Shearer on the far side. That's where it's going. That's his header. Gallagher. The final effort well away from goal, but it was brilliantly won here by Alan Shearer, getting up in front of and above Earl Barrett to make the opening. Good header by Townsend, then Whittingham, now Saunders, and now Farrell. Well, the newcomer, or comparative newcomer, Dave Farrell, is having quite a difficult task getting past Henningberg. And I'm sure that was a bit of encouragement there for the youngster from Steve Staunton, because Saunders put him in possession here, but once again the Norwegian knew exactly what Farrell was trying to do and blocked his path. That's been the pattern in this first half. Oh, it was Houghton with the back pass, which forces Bosnich to kick. Now Batty, busy as ever. Wilcox. Lasso's also in the attack here. Oh, he's done well. Oh, and Shearer was there. And Blackburn take the lead. Alan Shearer scores his 20th goal of the season, courtesy of Graham Lasso. Well, it needed a man to come from deep to really create something in this game, and that's what Lasso did. He got away from Cox, fired it back, and look at that finish, so precise from Shearer, who has now scored 18 goals in the last 15 Premiership games since he came back into the starting lineup. It's a hot streak, to say the least, and it's given Blackburn the edge here. Ripley. Oh, they've got players over here, Blackburn. Wilcox didn't make the most. Oh, look at that header from Barrett. Villa are rattled. Twice there they almost put the second goal on a plate. And Kenny Dalglish's side have earned their lead. Well, you can see why Blackburn are on a roll. 4 wins and a draw in their last 5 games. The Villa fans not too thrilled with that first half, but Alan Shearer certainly happier than Ron Atkinson, because it was Shearer's goal in the 38th minute that earned Blackburn the lead that their overall play deserved. Whatever the prophets of doom may say about the standard of English football, and a lot's been said recently, more and more people want to watch it. We've had huge crowds over the holiday period, and Aston Villa report their best of the season today. 40,744. And they start the second half on the attack, with most of those inside the ground hoping for an equaliser. Steve Staunton's gone running across. Houghton. And talking of landmarks, the Villa chairman Doug Ellis celebrates his 70th birthday on Monday. I suspect he might swap a year or two for a goal just at present. Barrett and McGrath have got it all on back there, just to shake off the attention of the two strikers who are defending in the opposing half, if you see what I mean. Preventing Villa from moving forward. Blackburn fans chanting the name of the manager, a name that was once chanted by the Liverpool supporters over and over again. I was mentioning Kenny Dalglish's time at Liverpool. There's something about the Liverpool way of playing that runs through the Blackburn team. Always used to be said that Ian Rush was a terrific defender and that he used to pester the opposing defence and stop them from releasing the ball. Well, Kenny Dalglish's current front two, Shearer and Gallagher, are very adept at doing that. Whittingham sees York to his right and Saunders to his left. And May did the right thing. I'm not so sure that Flowers would have got that, but Villa press still. Whittingham, Batty's back there, but Houghton closes them down. And the Holt end urge Villa to keep this going. They've not had many periods of sustained attacking Aston Villa in this match. There could be one building up now. Indeed, a free kick for the foul on Houghton. Batty protests, but Roger Dilks is firm. Villa supporters in the 40,000 crowd really getting behind their side. It's going to be Staunton to lift it in. Oh, he's driven it! And that took everybody by surprise, apart from Tim Flowers, who got down splendidly. Staunton driving it round the wall and well held. Offside flags up. Well, you can understand why Blackburn's away record is so impressive. Curiously enough, Village is probably better than their home form as well, and when you think of Norwich, it seems that some teams are quite happy to play away. York, Houghton, Saunders wants it far post, he's there, Saunders! Great save, Flowers. How he got there, I'm not quite sure, but it was a wonderful save, because Saunders looked odds on to score, and it was Villa's best chance and best move of the afternoon, and the world's most expensive goalkeeper denied them the equaliser. From the other angle, Tim Flowers has got back a long way across his line. Saunders hasn't got that much to aim at, but Flowers, falling backwards, does well to keep the ball out, even though he falls into the net. It wasn't to be Saunders' day, not then. Oh, that's a good ball. Hendry to Wilcox. Gallagher and Shearer in the middle. Over there between him and Richardson, but the match has been played in a good spirit. They haven't given Roger Dilks too much to worry about, the players. He has given Blackburn a free kick here, and here comes Bosnich to meet them both, and the lofted return will drop just over, but Gallagher canny enough to see the opportunity, with the goalkeeper still recovering his ground. Example here of where a quick-thinking player, when the goalkeeper's punch comes out, can see his opportunity to clear the keeper and hope that one day it might drop underneath the bar. Colin Hendry first to that one. Oh, now Shearer jumped there with the arm a little bit. Paul McGrath seems to be okay, wiping his forehead. Teal. Villa are going to save it. It must be quick now. We're about to enter stoppage time. Cox. Oh, Dwight York. And Townsend. Corner. Maybe there's hope here for Villa at the last. There was a desperate block by Hendry to prevent York, but they forced the corner. Cox to take it. It's a low one, and Richardson's there, but it comes all the way back to Sean Teal. And the referee blows, and Blackburn take the 3 points, their 6th away win, Villa's 5th home defeat. And Alan Shearer, well, I started by saying that Ron Atkinson had paid him a huge compliment this morning, and the valuation of the England centre-forward, both by Atkinson and Dalglish, is vindicated here. He scored the only goal, and Blackburn's overall performance well worthy of the victory. People say that Manchester United are going to be impossible to displace at the top. I would venture to suggest that Blackburn Rovers will take some shifting from second place, the way they play today.
Alan, you keep rewriting the goal-scoring figures. I mean, I'll just give you one. 18 in your last 15 Premiership games. This is some hot streak you're in.
It's going very well for me, not only for me, but for Blackburn Rovers as well. As I've said before, and I'll say it again, it's a credit to the rest of the lads and to Blackburn Rovers for the chances they create for Alan Shearer.
Everybody's talking about Shearer. He's averaging more than a goal a game since he came back. How good is he?
Well, as I showed again today, there's more to his game than goal scoring. If he hadn't scored today, it'd have still been terrific. He's got to be one of the best. Long may it continue, goals going in.
Now, what about this championship race? You have actually managed to cut the gap. It's still a large one, but is it still open? Can Manchester United still be caught, possibly by Blackburn?
Well, I mean, the old saying is there's a long way to go yet. I think it's 12 points now, yes, with the game in hand. So
mention the game in hand.
Yeah.
It could come down to 9.
Yeah, we can maybe get it down to single figures.
Man United are not uncatchable. There's a lot of people saying that Man United have won the league, including 1 or 2 people on television this morning. But there you go. That's their opinion. All we can do is concentrate on Blackburn Rovers' form. And at the moment, that's very good.
Blackburn starting to click. Why do you think that is at the moment, Trevor?
Well, they're full of confidence, and more than anything, what struck me today, I mean, was their positive approach. I mean, any side that's chasing Manchester United at the moment realise they've got to go for 3 points, and it was very evident right from the kick-off. That was what was in sort of Blackburn's mind, and I think no one more epitomised that than Graham Masseau, who you know, created the goal. But in the opening 5 minutes, he made 2 runs that you don't expect a full-back playing away from home. I mean, he used to be an attacking midfielder. Here he's surrounded by Aston Villa players, and in the end, he tries to bulldoze his way through old Barrett, and quite rightly, as he bounces up looking for a penalty, he doesn't get it. But that approach was Blackburn from the off. Kenny's obviously installed that. Here he picks it up deep in his half and then sets off again on another long run. And you know, quite often fullbacks at this stage, as he checks inside, Paul McGrath would have passed it on to somebody else, right, you get on with it. But no, he wants to go on, he toe ends it past McGrath, and again it's Earl Barrett who comes across and makes a very important interception. But those 2 forward runs were in the first 6 or 7 minutes, but you know, I think Villa didn't quite realise he was going to continue that. Here he is, in a winger's position, isn't it? Sort of 5 minutes before half-time, surrounded by 2 players, nutmeg with Neil Cox, and then as he just tries to get in the second tackle, got that awareness to pull it back, and Shearer, you know, typically finds that couple of yards of space and tucks a vital goal. But I thought they thoroughly deserved a win. Very impressive, and probably playing now as well as at any time under Kenny's reign, I would think. That
was a great goal for Blackburn. But David Batty is also playing so well. That's been an important signing. Was the tenacity which he supplies, was that something you think Blackburn might have been lacking?
Well, I think so. I mean, they bought Warhurst, and they were a bit unlucky when he got injured. He was playing in a midfield role. But, I mean, Batty now, certainly, I mean, he's winning tackles, which we always knew that he did at Leeds. But now his partnership, I think, with Tim Sherwood is developing all the time. I mean, Batty would be more the holding midfielder that he used to be at Leeds. But his use of the ball is excellent. And here you see, as the ball's not back to him, it's Sherwood running through midfield, you know, getting into those little channels. Right, he's pulling out Earl Barrett there, and more than anything, what the 2 central midfielders are doing, they're looking for their wide people. Ripley on this occasion, but you know, I mean, they weren't against any slouches in the central midfield of Villa. I mean, Richardson certainly and Townsend, very experienced players, but here Sherwood just beats Townsend to the ball. As Richardson comes in, he releases it to Batty, and you know, they win possession, they get it, and they feed the wide people. Wilcox on this occasion, Ripley the other side, and that gives the service then to Shearer in the middle. And again, you know, Sherwood, instead of just hooking it forward, chests it down, lays it off to Batty. He picks it up again. He looks around to see if there's anything on down the centre. It's not. He doesn't want to concede possession. So again, he says to Stuart Ripley, over to you, take on the fullback. And that was the sort of, I think, the story of all afternoon. And those two in particular commanding a lot of possession for Blackburn.
Blackburn impressive. Thanks, Trevor. Well, here's 4 more of today's matches, starting with an all-London affair. The Dons of Wimbledon were gunning for Arsenal.
On the 6th day of Christmas football, Arsenal have already won 3 times and scored 10 times. Yes, Arsenal. There'll be no more jokes about them whilst Kevin Campbell and Ian Wright are hitting it off. At Wimbledon today, Campbell took his personal haul to 7 goals in 4 matches. He says he's benefited from a bit of tinkering with Arsenal's style of play in recent games. Ray Parlour also played a prominent part today, giving Arsenal a 2-goal lead with barely a quarter of the match played, smashing his first of the season through the clutter of penalty box bodies. Wimbledon weren't without their chances, John Fashanu in particular, but on each of the Arsenal goals, the Wimbledon defence missed a chance to clear. Scott Fitzgerald the culprit early in the second half, but look how quickly Ian Wright reacted. His 22nd of the season, but crucially, he now has a friendly rival in the scoring stakes.
Before, I was asked to do things that I'm not really good at, you know, whereas holding the ball up like Alan Smith, and he's the best man in the country for that, really. So that weren't really my game, but now I'm starting to run onto balls a lot more, and that's my strengths. So we're playing to my strengths, so I've got to be happy.
Campbell's one-time contemporary at Arsenal, Newcastle's Andy Cole, continues to match his old colleagues goal for goal. Injury-plagued Manchester City mounted a 5-man defence to keep him out and succeeded for all of 28 minutes. Peter Beardsley inevitably playing a part, Cole giving him the nod of approval. He's up to 27 goals for the season now. His second today, made by Lee Clark, was right on the stroke of half-time and right on the offside borderline. But Cole's not the type to hang about and look for flags. Manchester City have slipped to 19th place, just a point out of the relegation zone now. The happiest manager down there today made a happy homecoming to Swindon's county ground.
Clarky! Stevie! You should get a lot of space! Go and get the ball!
Some of the locals gave Glenn Hoddle a frosty reception, but Chelsea broke the ice with a 19th-minute goal. Sinclair and Steen both getting touches before Neil Shipperley applied the final touch. Swindon, who've made some encouraging noises of late, never quite looked like catching up from then, and just before half-time fell further behind. Nicky Hammond saving from Gavin Peacock, Dennis Wise with his finger on the trigger, eventually digging it out for Mark Steen to claim his 3rd goal in successive games. Chelsea defended that lead comfortably enough until the last couple of minutes when Craig Burley and John Spencer combined to set Wise up to steal their first away league win in over a year. It moved them a couple of places up the table too. Swindon, whom Hoddle's convinced can still survive, offered a late glimpse of the survival spirit with a goal fashioned by Moncur and Bodin for Andy Much. But with 2 long-awaited wins in 5 days, it's Chelsea who are showing the early New Year resolution.
Well, we're not out of the trouble that we've got ourselves in, that's for sure. I said that to the players, but obviously I can see the confidence coming back in there, on the pitch and off the pitch, and I'm seeing good habits that we had at the beginning of the season and that I've seen on the training pitch. So I feel that we're starting to turn the corner, and we've got to maintain that run now.
Not since Liverpool were at Swindon in the opening week of the season had they taken maximum points on their travels until today. Neil Ruddock gave them a 57th minute lead at Ipswich with a crashing header that broke the goal line defences. But Ipswich, unbeaten in 8 before today, levelled the game with a real hangover of a goal. Nigel Clough's careless pass, matched by a miss-hit shot from Boncho Genchev, seized upon by goalscorer Ian Marshall as Liverpool raged in their search for an offside flag. Their search for a deserved winner carried on right until the last couple of minutes. John Barnes back as a substitute with the will and the wherewithal to make life difficult for keeper Craig Forrest. Robbie Fowler hit the bar, Ian Rush hit the winner. Liverpool's next match, the small matter of a visit from Manchester United on Tuesday night.
Well, we saw another goal for Ian Wright there. We've seen a goal for Alan Shearer, 2 for Andy Cole. And really, when you look at strikers like that playing in the Premiership, we've been taking a look at their records, and Ian Wright, 79 goals from 111 games, Alan Shearer, 42 goals from 51 games, and Andy Cole, 39 goals from 37 games. Well, you can't do much better than that. It's great that there's so many good scorers around, Trevor.
Well, those three, I mean, the strike rate there is incredible. I mean, Ian Wright's 79 goals, 71%. Andy Cole's even ahead. They're different types of player. Wright's pace, Shearer's got that all-around running ability, and Andy Cole twists and turns and thrives off Peter Beardsley. But a great trio for any England manager to build on.
I'm not sure I can remember 3 strikers scoring so many goals at the same time.
No, certainly not.
Well, also in the capital today, it was Francis v Francis, Jerry of Queen's Park Rangers against Trevor of Sheffield Wednesday. Both managers were after 3 points, and so were their players. England international David Barnsley passed the fitness test for Rangers, but for Sheffield Wednesday, Chris Waddle didn't make it. Gerald Sinstadt was at Loftus Road, and we joined the match in the second half.
Walker across to put it into touch. Sinton's header. Mika got a chance here. Good save. Well, that's the best of the game so far. Mika suddenly had a yard of space, balanced himself and shot well. What a good save from Preston. Brevitt. Oh, now Watson is away. Bardsley's got to go after him. Watson on his own. Can he get there? Oh, great tackle from Bardsley. That was brilliantly done. Watson is fast. And just at the crucial moment, he may just have pushed the ball a yard too far. Bardsley took his chance and took it brilliantly. Half an hour left. Hooked on by Wilson to Ferdinand. Away from Palmer. Dummied Walker. Good save again. That was beautifully done by Ferdinand. Beautifully done. Well, that was great skill by Les Ferdinand. First move took him away from Palmer, and the dummy on Walker was superb. The shot was beautifully struck. What a good save again from the big Kevin Pressman. Sinton. Watson. Ferdinand now. Against the bar. Ferdinand had lost Palmer, but referee indicates that Ferdinand used body or arms illegally against Palmer. So even if he hadn't hit the bar, it wouldn't have been a goal. Mika. Off he goes again. He's only got one to beat now. Walker, can he shoot? Oh, good save again, Pressman. 1-0, Ferdinand has broken the deadlock. Well, Mika, the unpredictable, the player who loves to run with the ball, went at his man, found the gap, good shot, good save by Pressman, but Ferdinand was there to turn it in at the far post. Nilsson. Good header. Mr. Versatility does it once again. Mark Bright meeting the cross and putting Wednesday level. Sinclair. Forward by Walker. Watson, 2-1. Suddenly the goals begin to flow, and Sheffield Wednesday have come from 1 down to 2-1 up in the blinking of an eye. Gordon Watson got 2 goals in his last game when he might have had a hat-trick, but kept his place and gets the goal now that threatens to repeat Sheffield Wednesday's League Cup victory here a month ago. Wednesday very much in the dictating position. Goal up, stoppage time, ball in the opposition penalty area. Well taken on, and against the post. I think from Hyde, right at the end.
Only one defeat now in your last 18 games. You must look back on that bad start to the season and grit your teeth a bit.
Yeah, it was the same last season. We started really dodgy. We wasn't beaten from like November right up to February. Got to the 2 cup finals, got beaten both, and it seems to be the pattern this year as well. Very, very shaky early on. Come November, 1 in 18 we've lost. So hopefully on Monday we've got Tottenham. We'll make it 1 in 19.
Tremendous grind, isn't it? Tottenham game is going to be, what, 4 games in 7 or 8 days?
Yeah, we're fit enough. We don't do anything else. We're home at 1:30 every day, so it's not a hard life, is it?
The Sheffield Wednesday revival continues. Good work if you can get it. Still 4 Premiership games to show you. All 22 clubs were in action today. The first time that's happened all season. Here come the goals.
The first Premiership goal of 1994 came at Goodison Park. But it's little surprise Everton weren't the scorers. They hadn't found the net in their last 5 matches. Tim Breaker did with just 6 minutes gone, his looping header sealing victory for West Ham. Everton without a goal in almost 10 hours since Jimmy Gabriel took caretaker charge. The club tonight did a U-turn and announced a full-time manager will be appointed with all possible haste. Only Manchester United have a better record on their travels this season than Norwich, who collected their 7th away victory to leave Southampton just 1 off the bottom. Chris Sutton's 14th and possibly best goal of the season just before half-time was enough, and again proved his current worth to Mike Walker's team. But that fine goal won't be the lasting memory from this match, thanks to a 63rd minute confrontation between Francis Bernali of Southampton and Rule Fox of Norwich. Bernali appeared to lash out after being harried by the tenacious Fox. Referee Graham Pole sent Bernali off for violent conduct for use of the elbow. Southampton deep in trouble, 2nd from bottom. Coventry manager Phil Neal thinks his team are a match for anyone right now. Not a good time perhaps for Spurs to be entertaining them after 3 months without a home win. And so it appeared when Phil Babb headed Coventry in front after 25 minutes. Tottenham hinted they might get it right at home with an equaliser just before half-time from Darren Caskey. But it was to be Coventry's day, not least because Roy Wegerle was in the mood, crowning one of his more influential displays with a delightful winner. Ozzy Ardiles said it was Tottenham's worst display of the season, but that's doing Coventry a disservice. When you've gone 10 hours and 21 minutes without a goal, you'll take anything on offer, and Sheffield United certainly did. A dubious penalty awarded for a push by Richard Jobson on Justin Flo gave them the opportunity to end the drought. The decision mystified Oldham, whose manager Joe Royle claimed the officials were as green as their shirts. Dane Whitehouse scored. Another notable decision from referee Robbie Hart led to a second for United just 9 minutes later. Flo was seemingly brought down outside the box, but play was allowed to continue, giving Mitch Ward the chance to fire home number 2. Oldham pulled one back from a corner on the stroke of half-time, Jobson taking out his anger about that penalty decision on the ball with the most venomous of headers. Not enough, though, to prevent a first win in 7 for Sheffield United.
There's the table. Manchester United, held by Leeds today, lead the chasing pack by 12 points. Blackburn, who recorded 1 of 8 away victories in the Premiership this afternoon, lies 2nd. And at the bottom, Sheffield United's win over Oldham sees them move out of the bottom 3. Chelsea's victory at Swindon means John Gorman's side is still 3 points adrift of the rest in last place. Well, the biggest crowd today was always going to be at Parkhead in Glasgow. Over 48,000 turned out for Celtic against Rangers. Billy McNeil and Jock Brown in the commentary box.
There's McCall. Hathley is onside. A great chance for Rangers right at the start of the match. And Hathley scores! The most dramatic opening to the Old Firm match. It's goal number 21 of the season, and it's scored in just 58 seconds. Well, Well, there's the pass from Stuart McCall, and it did appear as though they started from position in line. The linesman below is George Kerr, was perfectly positioned to assess that, and he waved play on. So the settling in process has not yet been completed, but either side, as Jury breaks there, that's great play. Neil Murray's in the clear. It's a great chance for the second. Murray against Bonner, and here's Mikhalichenko. It's number 2 for Rangers. And once again, the square defence has been breached, and this time there was no question of Murray being offside. Murray goes through the middle. You could have driven a bus through the Celtic defence. He kept his head here, but Bonner does extremely well to make the initial block. And there's Mikhalichenko with the accurate finish. Trevor Stephen making a good run across to the left. Tackled by Collins, advantage allowed with Rangers in possession. There's Haitley again, now Jury. And the third scored by Mikhalichenko. And once again the Celtic defence was ripped asunder. This was a great chance initially for Gordon Jury. He really should have buried that one. But Mikhalichenko reacted very swiftly to toe poke the ball home. Well, that's a good change of slant there by John Collins. It's a magnificent goal for Celtic. And John Collins throws Celtic a lifeline.
This is a magnificently worked free kick. Look at John Collins. He's got the confidence to take the ball, take it past Stuart McCall. What a tremendous shot he fires into the net there.
This is Jury. Strong enough and quick enough to go past Gillespie. There's Kuznetsov. That's the fourth. That settles it all right. Oleg Kuznetsov with that dipping volley. There are just 14 minutes left for play. Chance on there for the second for Celtic. It's turned in there by Charlie Nicholas. The header from Mark McNally did all the damage, and the Rangers defence was certainly caught napping here. McNally with a very good header, and Nicholas not picked up at the post there. It's 4-2 now to Rangers.
And Rangers go top. Just time to announce the result of December's Goal of the Month competition. Having agonised and debated at length, Trevor and Alan decided top spot should go to Ian Wright's incredible chip against Swindon. Definitely worth another look. £100 with the premium bonds as Ian Bromley of Stockport, Wright, Cantona and Saunders, the 1, 2, 3. OK, time to go home, but it's good to see that the festive spirit is still in the air. By my reckoning, it's the 9th day of Christmas, and at Old Trafford today, a young Manchester United fan was in good voice. Goodbye.